Lawrence Butler was asked about the whole deal once he's finally in there and settled yesterday, and he said the clubhouse is pretty nice, but he's like the minor league field and park part. It's a minor league park, and they put $40 million into the whole situation. But there's the quote. He says Sacramento's clubhouse is quite nice. And by the way, I'll add, I mean they have a 2-story situation. You got to have some extra room in there. You got multiple teams that are using it home park wise.
Yeah.
He said, but the stadium feels like a minor league stadium, and that is what we're going to have here. We've got 2 teams doing this now, and MLB's okay overseeing that. But John Fisher spoke to the press yesterday. Evan Drellick wrote some good stories on the whole situation. He did not seem concerned about anything going on, obviously, with the Vegas plans, and basically everything there is all written up as, hey, we're here for a little layover, because Drellick spent about a week there in Sacramento, and he said it was kind of weird, right? The fans are excited to be able to see some major league games, and of course, here's the part I wanted to get to with Fisher for Kratz, because I know he's going to love it. I'll take the quote, my favorite quote from the story. And I'm sure we will get a lot of fans who are new to baseball and want to see what this is going to be like. And then we'll also get a lot of fans who will be, Chicago Cubs fans and Yankees fans. He's like, giggity. And Kansas City fans who are going to come out and support their team against the Athletics. And for us, it's all about bringing a lot of passion into the ballpark. And we think that we'll be able to achieve that.
What is going on?
Because he loves talking about other teams and other players.
I don't get it.
So I'm reading
Judge,
through and I'm like,
guys.
okay, like someone's probably not coaching him, and you're like, you're doing good. And then he's like, and I love other teams coming to the park and beating us up. Oh, I can't wait for Judge.
Because think about it. He is essentially wants to go to the smallest market possible in baseball in Las Vegas. If he doesn't have all these other exciting teams coming into town to play my A's, he's got Jack, because he doesn't know how to connect with the fans. We just showed Stu Sternberg standing up there. If Stu Sternberg really cared about the fans and all the debacle and everything that everybody went through, hey, we're suffering through this hurricane together, he'd be down not in the suite that they made for him and his cronies. He'd be down with the people. So John Fisher, show up for the people. Go face-to-face with the people that say you should sell. Explain to them why you shouldn't sell, and you're wanting to put a product out there for the true A's fans. But no, he's like, oh, man, it's so neat. The Cubs came in. Oh, historic Cubs. Can you believe Shohei Ohtani's coming to Sacramento? It's unbelievable. It's going to be great. They're going to sell it. They're going to have more posters about who they're playing than who's on their team.
Well, there's barely any Sacramento stuff up. I mean, that's what the article says here from Drellick. And the mayor of Sacramento said, I'm calling them the Sacramento A's. I'm like, that's right. Say it with your chest, baby. He said, I'm going to buy myself a Sacramento A's jersey and hat very soon. By the way, that's not going to be available from MLB, so it's probably going to be from a shop selling it illegally. So don't call them out too much so they get in trouble. Anyway, back to the quote. He said, they're not calling them that, as in Sacramento, but we can call them that. And the Kings and the Sacramento River Cats were obviously all involved with getting this ballpark into better shape, including the natural grass instead of the turf that they wanted to roll with initially to save money, which would have been a disaster. And a Kings spokesman told Evan Drellick that they could interview one of their executives to talk about this, but only if the team could approve which quotes were used in advance of the publication. The Athletic declined to conduct an interview under those terms. The Kings have already commented publicly on the stadium project, so Drellick said it's an interesting choice when they're trying to bring a team into the city, and they will only let you talk to them, right? That ownership group and team situation, if they approve the quotes. Things are just always weird with this situation.
Fishy, very fishy.
Fishy is the right word for this. Did you see the tool shed?
I did see the tool shed.
If it gets
John
too
Fisher
windy,
wasn't
I'm
giving his
worried.
presser in that, John, was he?
Yeah, it was. It looks like a Porter John.
No, you can't go in there. It got windy at one point. That thing could bowl over. I mean,
it could.
You can buy that actually from our boy on the show earlier at
Mr.
Home
Lord.
Depot.
Yeah.
Brad Lord.
Listen, that looks like one of those COVID tents back in 2020 that they made. So they found the same supplies and made it pretty good. You know what? Listen, at the end of the day, at least the media knows where they need to go, and they can stay in there for a long time if they want. It's not like, oh, you got to be set time. So I give them credit for that one.
Yeah, except if there's some natural disaster warning, you do not want to be in that thing.
No.
Get to a real safe place, not that makeshift-ish.
For sure.
But anyway, it's going to be weird. I mean, on TV, it looks like a minor league park. Kratz, looks like I'm watching one of the MILB games, and there's the concourse, and then upstairs, you don't have the multiple decks. You just have the mezzanine, which is really just some suites, and that's it. That's the park.
When the Yankees come in, are they going to expand that media tent? Because if not, it might be 110 degrees. There's going to be dudes standing outside of that John.
Forget the Yanks.
Yeah, not big enough.
The Dodgers have like 30 Japanese media members, maybe more.
I was thinking the same thing. That's so funny.
They'll knock that thing over if you're trying to get every media member in for a Dodgers-A's matchup.
Especially depending on who's pitching.